Hello and welcome to Jim and Ben's Movie Adventures. My name is Ben and with me is...
Aaron, the hotshot real estate developer, coming in to, sweep Erica off her feet because this week we watched a very special episode of Jim and Ben's where we went and watched a Hallmark Christmas movie called A Maple Valley Christmas. And this was a new experience for me. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Hallmark Christmas movie specials, Ben, but I had never seen one. And that all changed with A Maple Valley Christmas.
I was aware of them. I don't know if I've specifically seen one, but I have watched what we would call a midday movie many times.
Tell you what, I'm going to give you a synopsis of this particular televised treat, and then we'll see if you could even dig up some facts. These films, there's so many of them, they don't even have Wikipedia entries, so I don't know what that does to your research here, Ben, but look...
It changes it.
Let me hit you with the synopsis of this whatever this was. So, just before Christmas, Ina Holden retires, passing Maple Valley Farms to her daughters Erica and Heidi. As they take over the family maple business, a neighboring property goes up for sale, one that the Holdens actually sold years ago and have desperately wanted back. Trouble arrives with Aaron, who is sent by his powerful father to buy this land for his development company. As old family wounds and new romance collide, Erica and Aaron must decide whether to follow expectations or choose their own paths. And we'll get into it. But give us some facts. Give us some facts. Could you find any?
I had to... Obviously, I usually use Wikipedia, which is... Look, we all admit it's not a trustworthy source, but it's what I use. It's consistency, right? I had to go with IMDb on this one.
It's consistently untrustworthy.
Yeah, I had to go with IMDb with this one, which it is on. So released in 2022, directed by Paul Ziller, screenplay by Joey Notkin and Jerry Tilt, cinematography by Dan Dumichel. Starring Peyton List, Andrew W. Walker, Francis Flanagan, Ella Cannon, Jeff Gonick, and Paul Jarrett. Music by David Buckley. Runtime of 1 hour and 25 minutes. Budget of shrug. And a box office of the shrug. There are no box offices. It was a TV movie.
So, look, before we go any further, we should just make note that, Ben, you are in the Christmas spirit, and if you're an audio-only listener, you should jump on the YouTube for this one, even if it's just for a few seconds, because Ben is literally wearing a shirt that he had printed, which has my face on it, repeatedly wearing Santa hats, and that's a level of... I don't know if you'd call it friendship, but you'd definitely call it effort, wouldn't you?
It's an obsession. No, it's one of my... I got like a few shirts that are my favorites, and this is definitely one of them. And it has now become a Christmas tradition where I wear this shirt.
It's also a very old photo of me that you've chosen to have blown up and printed on the shirt.
You are at most 20.
I guess there you go. Look, I wore a plain blue shirt for the occasion, so you can see where our Christmas commitment lies. But look, let's talk about A Maple Valley Christmas.
I want to get something very clearly off my chest. I believe this movie and others like it produced by Hallmark are genius. They are genius. They're not for me. I'm guessing they're not for you, but the formula, the more I thought about it, the more I let it marinate in my brain, is phenomenal. It is so clever. We spoke about consistency earlier. It is consistent, and it is gentle, and you know exactly what you're getting every time, and it is... So for all of you who don't know what a Hallmark movie is, think of the most digestible piece of media imaginable. Add a love story and then tack that onto a holiday. Hallmark movie.
Yeah. It's definitely, shall we say, good business, right? It's good business. There's no problem here because these Hallmark movies are designed to be the ideal background watch. The idea is you're prepping something in the kitchen and you're looking over and the plot has incrementally moved ahead. Right? It hasn't moved far. It's not going to...
Sometimes it hasn't moved.
Sometimes it just hasn't moved. But it's pretty people doing frivolous things at Christmas time in a very gentle and sort of. It's supposed to be kind. They're all rich. I don't know what's going on with it. Everybody's rich. They're varying shades of
It
rich,
is
right?
it is an idealized version of life. You want to put yourself in those shoes, and they have to look comfy, and they have to look. You want them, but they're not completely out of reach. And as I said, it's a formula that I think is bordering on being perfected.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
look, they know how to do this for sure. So now, look, I've like many people, I've only ever seen snippets of Hallmark movies. I've never sat down and watched the whole one. And if you just sort of, think about what we just said about Hallmark movies, for them, that's probably like mission accomplished, right? You're not really supposed to sit down and watch the whole thing, but there are hundreds of them. And we're going to talk about this one because this one we did sit down, we did watch it, cover to cover, start to finish, as you like. And once you sort of, okay, what do we have here? We've got a
I have a question. I have a question.
yes,
I have a
right.
question. All year, we've been talking about structure
Yeah.
and narrative. I have a narrative question for you.
Hmm.
How many singular plot points are in this film? What is the the what is the story structure here?
Yeah, it's something where look, it's not there's not a lot to it in the sense that functionally we have the sale of the neighboring property and the retirement of the mum. And everything is built on these two events. And actually, it gets kind of hilarious when you look at the way information is drip fed from the character of the mum in
She's
particular, right?
insane, man.
She actually drives almost every major inciting incident in this plot. And she does it at times in the movie structurally when we need those beats to happen. But if you think about it from just a person making decisions, it makes no sense. And she's kind of maniacal in her the way that she actually feeds this information to her daughters. So let's start there because that is a huge structural thing. She drives all of this plot. First of all, she says a few days before Christmas, "Hey, I'm retiring."
Their busiest time of year.
Their busiest time of year. She says, "I'm retiring," and you and your sister, Erica and Heidi, you're going to take over the family business and you're going to run it together. Isn't that lovely? And you go, okay, well, sure. Well, the girls weren't ready for that. But she says, I'm retiring. At the same time as she says, I'm retiring, uh, the house next door, the property next door, which is a large property, is going up for sale, right? And she deliberately says, as she's on the way out, I'm not going to help you decide whether or not to buy it. I'm not going to do that. She's dumping that on them right before Christmas. So this is how we start. Then, in the same breath, she says, "Oh, and I'm off to Italy." And it's assumed to be a holiday, but she does not clarify. She doesn't do it. Then other things happen. Yep, we'll get to those. But just from the mum's perspective, a few days later, she says, "Oh, you know, I fell in love with my tutor over there, and he's actually my boyfriend." Oh, okay, cool. A little while later, she says, "Actually, I'm gonna be staying over there. It's gonna be some months. I might live over there." Oh, okay. A few days later, we're now Christmas Eve. She goes, "Oh, my Italian boyfriend who I just told you about, he's coming." Oh, he's coming today. What? Like he's coming today? Like, yeah, he's going to be with us for Christmas the next day. So the
Wait,
mum,
wait, wait, wait. There's one bit you've missed. Not
right?
only is he coming today, he's going to walk straight into that kitchen and take over and make the Christmas feast.
Yeah, that's right. So you look at it from the mum's perspective. I'm like, what are you doing to your daughters? How are they supposed to react? Busiest time of year, and the whole way through, the mum's just like, "Gee, Erica, you're being really unreasonable. Like
Here's
to
the
take
deal.
all of this stuff and then
They treat
not be cool with it. Like,
they treat Erica like in the past she was a nightmare.
I know.
And they're so scared of telling her any new information because she's going to explode. Now, in this movie, does she take some information not very well? Yes, but I'd argue that's all down to delivery.
I would say the same thing. So look, basically, I got off track there, but that was a huge structural red flag for me because this mum is driving all of this conflict, and it's simply through the timing of when she chooses to deliver the information that she's had the entire time, and she's deliberately picking the worst possible times to deliver this information. But look, so we've got Erica, who's our main character. Now, look, can I just say, if this was Twilight, if this was Hallmark, I'm Team Erica because I think Erica is a fairly logical human being who is reacting reasonably to things that are not very nice for her, right? Throughout the entire story. I don't know. How do you feel about the Erica
The
of it?
the only problem Erica has, and the only kind of illogical part I see to any of her story, is how much she wants the neighboring property. Um, she has the family story of it used to belong to her, but it never belonged to their family while she was alive. Like she
No, but she does say, and they say towards the start of the film repeatedly, it was always the plan to buy it back. That was the plan, was if we ever get enough money, we'll buy it back. That was like the default. So when her sister then doesn't want to do it,
But
um,
her sister provides a reason. She's like, hey, that's a lot of money. It's going to take a long time to get that piece of property up and running to make money again for the way we make money. We should actually just reinvest that money and try and get our products into stores and develop what we have. It's not a
she
bad plan.
it's not a bad plan, but also the sister, Heidi, throughout the entire movie,
She's weak sauce, by the way.
she never once tries to actually talk to Erica about this problem. All she does is say, I don't want to buy the property. I don't want to buy the property. I don't want to buy the property. Why do you keep wanting to buy the property? I don't want to buy the property. Like, so it's literally like Heidi is saying to Erica the entire film, why can't you just be a team player without giving any potential sign that she can also be a team player? Whereas at least Erica is like, hey, we should talk about this, we should talk about your plan, what's going on. They just never get the opportunity to talk because it's a busy time of year, bro, and things just keep getting in the way, like Aaron, who
I was going to
arrives
say,
in
Aaron is our
town.
main obstacle.
Aaron, he arrives in town. He's on business for his father. He's there to buy the neighboring property, but he falls for Erica, and suddenly it's Aaron and Erica, and he almost kind of inexplicably just decides that he loves her, and she is pretty similar for him. I don't really know why these two people, fall in love. Maybe it's that magical, mystical. It's the love bug. It's bitten them both.
I think that's the hallmark part of this movie, right? Like that's the bit of like the we know going into this movie that they're going to fall in love and they're going to end up together. So let's not dwell on those points. Let's not focus on those points because that's not what we're here for. We know those things are happening. What we're here for is the set dressing. What's the bits and pieces that go around those two things that we know are going to happen? That's why I said at the start of this is genius.
Yeah,
This movie doesn't focus on anything a normal movie focuses on because everyone going into the movie knows exactly how it ends. It's like
yeah,
the Titanic, man. You know the movie's going to sink, right? So they don't worry about it. They go, okay, we don't worry about it. What we do need, a beautiful maple farm. What we
yeah,
do need, an idyllic village. What we do need, good-looking people. Nailed it.
yeah.
It
We can
is,
supply all of those
yeah,
things.
yeah. Do you know what we have? A lot of out of work CW actors and people like that and soap opera people. We can put them in stuff. Um, that's why this movie is so like it's like a mild tasting taffy. You can just chew it forever because it's brilliant and it's evil. Oh man, I can't get over how much I respect and dislike this film at the same time.
It's so I actually think performance what so sorry we were still kind of talking about the
Sorry.
structure. It was
Yeah.
free range there, but like so look
So
their love, sure, like they have a number of very pleasant scenes together where he sort of wins her over, and it's I kind
was
of
he?
get, well, kind of at the end she kind of likes him. She's like, you'll do. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Well, the only other men in her life are her brother-in-law and the guy who's selling the farm, so she doesn't have many choices.
That's
Um,
true.
his story is a secondary story in this, and I think it's important to tell it because it is so anemic and 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 wonderful in its anemicness and one-notedness. So his whole story is that he's a I suppose a really mild playboy, real estate millionaire from a kind of dynastic type of family. His dad is well known in the industry and is the leader of their company. And he's getting ready to spend a lonesome Christmas on the hills of Aspen skiing.
Mm.
And before
It's
he goes,
terrible. It's terrible.
terrible,
It's
hard
just
life.
luxury
Oh,
ski resort.
the
He is,
worst.
but he's by himself, man.
Yeah,
Like, it's
no
it's
love.
terrible.
Like any anime protagonist, he no longer has a mum, and he is sent to look at a property before he goes. And it's a property his dad has had his eye on for years. And he goes there, and through a meet cute of a horse, he meets our lead
Can I
actress,
just stop there for a second?
the
Because
horse man.
if I'm driving my vehicle through the idyllic snow covered woods and I see a fully saddled horse off to the side of the road, do I stop my vehicle, walk over to the horse, get on the horse, and leave my vehicle in the middle of nowhere and start riding through the woods in the hope that I'm going to find the place the horse came from?
That guy
Because
stole the horse.
that's exactly what Aaron does. And then Erica's like, "Oh, that horse, he got out of his stable. It's fully bridled and saddled. Who leaves a fully bridled and saddled horse overnight in the No one does that. You only do that if you are expecting a handsome stranger to find it by the side of the road and ride it back to your house. This annoyed me, Ben.
Also, when they bring the horse back to the
They
stable,
leave it
she,
saddled. They leave it saddled in the
that
stable.
horse is saddled to this day.
That poor horse. You're supposed to take the saddle off. They're not meant to be
You brush
permanently
it down,
saddled.
you feed it, you give it a little oat bag. Yeah,
Oh,
it's bad. So he comes there, and he's there to buy the neighboring property, and very quickly, through no sort of conflict, he just says plainly, "Oh, I'm here to see if we want to buy that property." Right? So what should be our conflict in our story is introduced. The next scene, he's just like, "Nah, I won't buy it.
yeah.
I'll just tell my dad it's no good."
Isn't that then hilarious? Where he calls his dad, and his dad's like, "No, you will buy it." And the entire tension becomes, "I told my dad I'm not buying it. My dad says we are buying it. Ooh, it's tough. Ooh, what are we gonna do? Oh, it's tricky.
And
Are we still falling in love? Is the falling in love on hold now?
Because I'm still doing the right thing. It's my dad that's doing the wrong thing.
He's completely blameless. He's like, it's nothing to do with me. Do you still want to fall in love? Yeah, well, kind of. Like, I don't know.
He is like a captainless ship, right? He is just at the will of two separate winds. His father's blowing one direction, and the Maple Valley farm is blowing the other direction. He's just like, woo, yep. I'd rather the Maple Valley farm because that lady pretty and my dad doesn't touch me or hug me.
Can I just say that, like, he is holding on to that red fire truck for a little bit too long. What is he, 40 in this movie? It's like, no, I played with the red fire truck until it stopped. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
As a father with children, you've taken batteries out of toys.
I might have done that, I would hope that my child isn't going to, internalize that for the next 30 years before telling me that it was a problem and building our entire relationship around that one event. Sometimes the
Well,
toys are noisy. That's all I'm
I
trying to say.
and look, I'm assuming the fire truck was a metaphor for their relationship, and that the mother was supposed to be the conduit between them, and without her, that relationship broke down, and the note on the fire truck is a symbol of that. But I don't know if it hit me on the head hard enough with it to figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I was being glib, sure. You are right to articulate the metaphor. I'm just like, if that's the only, but again, I'm getting too deep here. I should not expect. Do you know what I mean? This is not a problem because this is actually a convention of the genre. No one's doing anything wrong or even badly here. They're just doing something that I am like, come on, we can do something else. We can do something other than that.
It is. It is. As I said, it is a fascinating film. And I know I've spoken to people after watching this film, and they may not have seen this movie specifically, but there are people who hang out all year for the new Christmas Hallmark movies. Like that is their tradition, is to watch them because that they're so good they're bad, or they find them a warm blanket, or it's just like putting a fire on at Christmas. Like it's a tradition. Like every year I watch a Scrooge movie. Doesn't matter which one, I watch a Scrooge movie. I watch Die Hard and I watch Home Alone. That's my movie tradition for Christmas. Some people's movie tradition is watching the same Hallmark movies or the new Hallmark movie for Christmas. And I kind of love it as a tradition. It is so wonderfully harmless and strangely inclusive as a process,
Yeah.
as a movie. Like a kid could watch this movie. Anyone can watch this movie. That might not be the same for all Hallmark movies. I'm guessing it's pretty close. Um, it is the sort of thing that you can stop, go into your kitchen, finish cooking something for Christmas, come back, and you don't have to worry about what you just watched because you can just pick it up anywhere. It is such a strange piece of art.
Yeah, it is. And look, I should say as well, like, there's actually, I know the performances in Hallmark movies get knocked. There's nothing wrong with the performances. Like, no one's, everyone's competent, everyone's doing their job, everyone's doing exactly what the material requires of them. It's not like I have an issue. Do you know what I mean? I don't take
No.
umbrage to what's happening here. It's just, again, it's a very specific sort of thing that's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I would say as well, just on a production standpoint, there's a couple of things that stand out to me. The first is that if you are the lead romantic pairing in one of these Hallmark movies, man, you better like your scene partner because you are going to be spending every single scene with them. The amount of scenes that Erica and Aaron have in the movie is insane. Like they are on the screen constantly, having these repeated, soft romantic conversations and interactions as they go about the business of Christmas at the Maple Valley farm. So, obviously they would have gotten to know each other very well. They're on set
Yeah.
every day together, on this sort of production perspective. And then the other thing is the set dressing. This movie, it's like it's staged. It's staged in the way that you stage a house in order to sell it. It's everything is in its proper place. I counted 4 Christmas trees in the same room of the barn, right? Like we're in the barn. The barn's not that big. It's basically a corridor with horse stalls on either side. There are 4 Christmas trees. You can see 4 of them in that one tiny room. Now, of course, that means when you shoot it from any angle, you're always going to get Christmas tree blurred out bokeh in the background kind of thing. So it's always going to look good. But it is kind of crazy when you look at it in that way. There's also clearly it was shot at different times of year because
Yes.
some scenes are heavy on the snow, and then there are other scenes where there's maybe a little bit of snow in the foreground and a big leafy green tree with full sun on it in the background. Like it's just
I put that down to not necessarily a different time of year, just set dressing. They were probably filming it in summer, and at certain times they didn't dress certain trees with snow. That's how
Well,
I
you
saw it in a
if
way.
it's in the if it's in the deep background, you're not going to. It's going to be too
Yeah.
cost prohibitive to do it if it's this huge tree. But look, I noticed it because obviously, the plot, it doesn't necessarily grip your attention. So my eye is darting to all these other areas of the frame to try and look at what's going on. So it's also a movie where you're never going to talk about the shot composition, or you're not going to talk about, oh, that was a cool sort of cinematic technique, because they're shot fast. They're shot fast and they're shot conventionally on purpose so that they can do a lot of camera setups in a single day in order to make their day and move on to the next scene, so that they can get as many of these done as possible, and get it done as cheaply as possible. So, in that sense, all your actors kind of have to be on their A game.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be delivering a lot of pages each day, and they have to get the tone right. I'm guessing they're probably going to get like 2 takes tops, in order to get all of this stuff happening before they've got to move on. So it is one of those tightly honed machines of a sort of production outfit, and there's something to respect there as well. Just that they move through in this kind of very disciplined sort of way. But at the end of the day, Ben, did you like this movie?
Yes, I did. Um, I liked it because of, I think, the lens I was looking at it with. I was actually very happy that I watched it, when I was in the mood I was in, because there are definitely moods where I would just bounce straight off this movie. But I came at it with an open mind, ready to just consume it. And as I said, it was easy to consume. It was such a basic piece of storytelling, and it kind of gave me exactly what I thought it was going to give me, but I wasn't mad about it. Um, it is the sort of thing that is easy to watch with a partner. It gives you a bit of a Christmas spirit to yourself. Like, it's like a bit of a happy story, right? Like, a lot of Christmas stories should be happy. Some of them are moralistic and they make you think about life, or there's some sadness. But this is just here to make you happy. It, as I said, as a kid, when you're homesick from school in Australia, went before like the advent of streaming and many channels, you had something called the midday movie. And the midday movie was this: it was an ultimately consumable piece of cinema that you could watch in an hour and 10 minutes, that was kind of just forgettable at the end of it. And it was the sort of thing that if it came on TV again in 3 months' time, you could watch it again because you didn't really remember it because it didn't stick with you. I don't know. Like, yes, I liked the movie. Is it a good film? No, but I liked it.
Yeah, look, I enjoyed it for what it was, actually. So, but that is someone who has not seen many Hallmark movies, and it's also someone who, I will never watch this movie again. I don't want to. I
No,
believe there are, you know, 80 clones of it out there, that I could watch instead with a slightly different vibe. But again, yeah, it's singularly inoffensive. I enjoyed the wintry Christmas setting of the Maple Farm. And at the end of the day, I do think it's a good representation of its genre. But yeah, look, Team America, man, the sister and the mum, not cool, as far as I was concerned. I was all like, yeah, you go, Erica. If someone tells me the day before that my Christmas traditions are all changing all at once and I had no warning, I'd be a little bit snippy too. So
be
I think
miffed.
that's on them. Like they should have done a little better there. So look, thank you so much for watching A Maple Valley Christmas with me. I'm very glad that we did this. I don't
It
know
was a
why, but it
great exercise.
it felt really fun to actually do this. Um, this is a bit of a special episode, but why don't you tell the good people of the interwebs where they can find all of our previous episodes, and then you can let me know what we'll be watching next time.
Jim and Ben's Movie Adventures. Type those words into YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes, and you will find our product. You can look at our back catalogue, and you can see the many films we've done over the last 2 years. If we haven't watched a film that you want us to watch, that is a perfect time to jump into our comment section and say, hey, how about this Christmas movie? Or, hey, you didn't even watch the best Hallmark movie. Watch this Hallmark movie. It's the pinnacle of Hallmark movies.
We'll
We'll
do it in
add
12 months' time.
Yeah. If it's Christmas, hey, if it's a Halloween one or if it's a New Year's one, you never know. Might be sooner. Um,
No.
Otherwise, like, comment. Please follow what we do. We really enjoy doing this. We do it genuinely for the love of it. We love talking to each other about movies and we love watching movies. And we hope you enjoy it too. If you want to follow us on any sort of social media, we have a couple of social medias that aren't extremely active, but they do exist with some content on them. We have a TikTok, which is Jim and Ben's Movie Adventures, and we have an Instagram, which is Jim_and_Ben. Now, I toyed with following the tradition of we did some Christmas movies, maybe we could do a New Year's movie. New Year's movies are wild. They range from that doesn't actually sound like a New Year's movie to that's a bit debaucherous. We probably can't watch that. So we're going to steer clear of New Year's in a way, but it kind of is a bit inspired by New Year's Eve, the movie we're watching, in that there is plenty of nightlife in this movie. There is glitz, there is glamour, there is Las Vegas. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people, and they all work for another guy called Danny Ocean. We are watching Ocean's 11.
Love it. Now, remake or original?
Now, that's what I was going to ask you. Because I've never seen the original. I've seen the remake many times, but never the original. So I was going to, as a Christmas gift, I was going to give you the option. I was going to tell you the movie, and if you want to watch the remake or the original.
Let's do the remake, okay? So
All right.
let's do George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, right? And we'll get into Ocean's 11 by Steven Soderbergh, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you very much for that choice. Thank you for joining us for this very special Christmas in a Maple Valley Christmas adventure for Jim and Ben. Thank you, everybody.
Merry Christmas, y'all.